Damn it. It's just being weird. Find something to listen to while I fly this thing. Man. What a long day. A lot of fun.
Nobody's one, sorting.
But a lot of annoying. My work week was kind of annoying. Let me switch up the. Had a pretty. Make sure it's calibrated. There we go. Yeah. This will work. Yeah. It's been a pretty.
Caution.
So hard to see. Little power lines. I was thinking I'd follow them, but they're that hard to see. It's probably not a good idea. But yeah, my week has been kind of an annoying, like trying one, because I'm basically just figuring out that although to the team that I work on, I'm a valued member and appreciated when it comes to my management, I can see them kind of starting to kind of use me more as a means to the end. Which, hey, it's not their job to have my back every time I want it or need it, and it's not their prerogative. It didn't have to be their prerogative. I feel like a good leader, a good manager, or whatever, should look after his peoples in the sense that if they need help, they should be able to, or they should be doing whatever they can to help, especially if you're a hard worker and you get stuff done and you don't bullshit. I feel like that should be a thing, but I figured out that's just not the way it is. It's just not the way it is. just my boss had the opportunity to save me about an hour or two. Actually, more like 2.5 hours of work by just kind of signing it off as being completed because it was. Basically, what happened is I got a job order and I completed the task, and there are just certain things that you do after the job is completed to ensure that things don't get messed up later on. And what I was going to do was I was going to say, hey, I told him, hey, I finished the job. If you could just sign it off as finished now, or basically if you could allow me to do the paperwork so I can sign it off as finished, and I can do the rest of the pretty much the cleanup, the closeout, afterwards, and just make sure everything is good to go before I leave, I'll save quite a bit of time. But I told him, hey, do you want to do that, or do you want me to finish, do you want me to have the job good and finished, and then also get things cleaned up and basically perform all the aftercare and all that. And he was like, no, I'll go ahead and get all cleaned up and all that, and then write up your, then do all your paperwork and yada yada. And I thought that was kind of weird for him to choose that, because like obviously him looking at the other one, it would save us both time, because I'm thinking he's going to have my back either way and sign off my paperwork and all that, since I completed the job and everything, and make sure I can get out of here on time. And instead what he did was he let me accomplish the work and the cleanup and all that, and he bailed on me and left it to the next shift to sign off my work. And once the next shift got there were discrepancies with the paperwork that were not my doing or my responsibility to take care of, and there were discrepancies with the cleanup. Like there were cleanup actions I could not, or closeout actions I could not perform that I regularly would, just due to the resources that we had on hand. And all this stuff came up that I could have dealt with way before if he would have just stayed and signed off the work. We would have run into the paperwork discrepancies, or the paperwork discrepancies could have been solved, without me having to be the one to be inconvenienced by it. I wouldn't even be there. The resources that we didn't have would have been noted, and I wouldn't have had to perform, or I wouldn't have had to look around for these resources unnecessarily. And it was just like, basically, you kind of screwed me so that he could go ahead and go home early or whatever and do whatever he needed to do. And if something was up, it's not like his job to notify me that something's up, but still, it's like, it would be greatly appreciated, because I'm your guy, and as much as it's important to me that you perform your job, I can understand everybody has shit going on, and the last thing I want
Stall warning.
is to seem like a selfish
Stall warning.
motherfucker.
Stall warning. Stall warning. Stall warning. Stall warning. Stall warning. Stall warning.
But yeah, and I just found out, or that's only an example. one example of something that just kind of showed me that, hey, Austin, you really are just kind of a worker pawn in all this, and just be aware that nobody's got your back like your family does and your friends do, and that just stressed me out. And now I'm at the end of my day. I think I'm gonna relax and jump on Ace Combat and chill and fly. But then I was like, oh, I've done a lot of flying. Let me play some of my other games. So I jump on Call of Duty and find out Call of Duty is a shitstorm. It really is. There's so much wrong with it that the devs are just not gonna fix. They keep introducing some old nostalgic thing that is broken, like for that game. Like it's just for this new Call of Duty, there is no place for akimbo dual wielding SMGs and pistols. There's no room for that. There's no place for that. It makes no sense. There's no place for some of these old maps where you could simply run across and have these great firefights. You didn't have to worry about these advanced upgrades you can make to the weapons, and there are very few, and you can never hold all of them at once. It's just, they've handicapped players with certain play styles. They've kind of basically all around. At first I didn't believe it because not all the game modes really cater to it. But now I definitely do, that they made this a very noob-friendly, camping-heavy game, because that's how everybody plays it right now. And I don't want it to be that way, but that's how it is. It's BS, really. It's BS, really. But I thought I was going to get on Call of Duty and relax, but I sure didn't relax. That game pissed me off, so I needed to come here and chill and fly a little bit before I went to bed. For sure.